Hey everyone, how's it going? I figured I'd share my thoughts on what I thought about the 2025 Oscars, and I will say it seems like it's this growing trend that the Academy Award choices for nominations and winners seems to get more and more wackier and stranger every year. And of course, in the case of 2025, that seems to be the continuing trend here. I'm like, how is it that the movie Anora wins Best Picture over the likes of say Wicked or Conclave and Complete Unknown and Dune Part Two? Since to me, pretty much all that movie does is glorify prostitution, rather than talking about the dangers of that profession. Like the film should have done what it didn't. Even though I will say one of the few highlights of that movie was Mickey Madison as Nora, and she did a good job. However, her win for Best Actress also baffles me, since quite honestly, to me, the one I thought would have won it was Cynthia Erivo for Wicked, because she did a great job portraying, Elphaba's, character, and showing her struggles and prejudice that she went through. And the same thing could also be said about Adrian Brody winning his second Oscar for The Brutalist, and I'm sorry, because his previous one in The Piano, now for The Brutalist in the lead actor category. And I will say The Brutalist was kind of like the worst, you know, movie I've ever seen in my life, if not the worst, since I would think that the story would have been about Hungarian Jewish immigrant coming to America and the struggles they faced. But to me, the story felt very empty, and to me, the whole movie was more about an architecture building rather than the story of an immigrant. And Adrian Brody's speech, quite honestly, I would say was pitiful and pathetic, and to me, it came off as very abrasive and rude. Like it was like the whole speech was about nothing, and maybe others may agree or disagree. And another one I could say is Zoe Saldana's win for Emilia Perez, which quite honestly was the worst musical movie adaptation I have ever seen. I couldn't even, sit through it because it was just so bad and pitiful. I'm like, she's a wonderful actress, don't get me wrong, but I think in that case, it should have went to either Ariana Grande for her take as Glinda in Wicked, or Isabella Rossellini in Conclave. Even though, in her case, and she did a good job, but just I kind of felt like her character was underused, but she did the best that she was given with the material that she had. I mean, I would say, in terms of the acting wins, I would have to say the only one I felt, in my opinion, that truly deserved it was Karen Culkin, for the movie The Real Pain, because his character was actually very interesting and funny and witty, and also seeing the pain and struggles that he faced, throughout the movie. And it was a really good, like a comedy duo, trying to discover your roots, which I thought was pretty cool. And let me see. In terms of like the other wins, I'm like, and I kind of wish Inside Out 2 would have won the best animated feature, considering that it was a huge hit, at the box office. And in terms of like best original song, I'm surprised Wicked didn't get nominated in that category, since they had a lot of great songs, and I think it was robbed of that. And what else could I say? I mean, I'm glad Doom 2 got a couple of Oscar recognitions, which was nice to see that sci-fi is not totally dead. But I will say, if there's one huge relief I have, is thank goodness, even though people may agree or disagree, that Demi Moore did not win for that awful body swap movie, The Substance. And the reason why I say that, because it was one of those type of movies that it had an interesting premise. Like, most of it was okay, but then when it got towards the end, that's when it got, in my opinion, really stupid. And I'm like, how is it that that particular movie won for the best makeup design, which quite honestly that should have went to Wicked because of the colorful costumes and all that. But like they say, art is a very subjective form, and people are going to have different opinions. I am curious to hear what other people thought about this year's ones, what they liked, what they didn't like, who they felt should have won. I felt in the director category, that should have went to James Mangold for a complete unknown. And like I said, the acting category should have went to either Ralph Fiennes for his role in Conclave or Timothy Chalamet. And I kind of feel bad for him because, like Austin Butler, they did portray the mannerisms of, say, Bob Dylan and Elvis well, but both got snubbed. And of course, in Austin Butler's case, he got snubbed. I mean, how is it that he gets snubbed, to Brendan Fraser's character in a fat suit? To me, that's purely insulting. But hey, each their own is what they say. All right, everyone. Hopefully, maybe next year they'll finally have some real, much better nominations and actors, depending on the films. So that's it for now. All right, everyone, take it easy.